when they present themselves, you got to take advantage of them because there's only so many.
I know you have to defend against the scheme and not the quarterback, but how difficult was it? What was Mac Jones doing to really test it?
So I just did an excellent job finding completions. They hit a lot of in-breakers, especially in a couple in those third downs. They hit some in-breakers in situations where, you have a little bit of an advantage in some third and longs, and that's the story. When you get them behind and it's 3rd and 10 plus, we got to take advantage of those opportunities from a defense perspective.
What issues were you seeing on defense?
For us, we got to put ourselves in better situations. We can't be in these 3rd and longs, and then when the opportunity presents itself, we just got to play clean football. We got to have everyone on the same page.
What do you see as the issue with 3rd down defense for y'all on some of those 3rd and longs?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. Obviously we want the rush to show up sooner. We want the coverage perspective of it to play cleaner and give ourselves a better opportunity to be successful. And so everyone's going to design plays. Plays are plays. We just got to execute at a much higher level in those situations because we're doing too much good on 1st and 2nd down to put yourself in those situations. And it's happened 2 weeks in a row. These 3rd and 10 plusers, we're giving up way too much in that situation.
Kelly, what was your opinion of the play with Alvin where it was ruled?
Yeah, obviously the main component that they were discussing was whether it was a catch or no catch, and so there was enough action in there. I haven't seen. I just saw the TV perspective of it from the big screen. Obviously, he had kind of controlled it with his hand, and so once that happened, it became a catch, and there was a fumble. So it's close. It's close. I think you got to be conclusive and have a defined look there, and so they felt compelled to say that.
Were you guys having discussions on the sideline about the footing during the game? It seemed like a lot of guys were flipping.
A few guys had commented on pregame, but I feel like I didn't see anything that drastically impacted the game necessarily.
What did you learn about the football team first 2 games?
Yeah, through 2 games, we have a great group of guys that work their tail off. Their play style, you can't take advantage or assume those sorts of things. We got everything we need, but we have to play cleaner football, and we have to play and do what winning teams do in each and every moment, from the beginning of the game all the way to the end. Every play matters, and we can't take it for granted.
You think Spencer took a step forward this week?
They did some good things. I think, obviously, when you look back, you're going to see some missed opportunities, just like for all of us. We're going to miss opportunities in some critical situations, and there's only so many snaps in this game. We got to take advantage of them.
It seemed like Mac Jones was clean for a lot of the game.
Yep.
Were you happy overall with the pass rush? Was there talk about that? How would you describe the pass rush?
Yeah, obviously there were some situations where he was able to sit there in the pocket for too long, and you let any of these quarterbacks in this league be comfortable in the pocket. They're going to be able to deliver some things downfield, and so we got to find a way to get to him sooner.
There were a lot of 49ers fans here today. Got pretty loud in some situations. Do you think that had an impact on anything at all?
No, obviously we know they travel well. They always have historically, no matter where you're at, and so it's all part of this this experience.
What did you see on the last play of the fumble?
Yeah, we just got a cleaner and protection game. We got to give ourselves a chance. It was a quick win on their end. Huff did a nice job off the edge, and so we weren't able to give ourselves a chance.
What was kind of the hope with that play? What were you looking for?
Yeah, it was pure progression. So obviously there was it was left to right. There was a couple options within that play, and really we couldn't even get the play started.
Just 2 weeks in a row where it comes down to the last drive, basically. What do you tell your guys going forward, just to keep spirits high that you guys are competing, or is there anything you tell you?
Yeah, our guys are competing. I think it hurts. It hurts when you lose games like this, and that's how it's supposed to feel. It's not supposed to. There's no feel good moments out of this. There's plenty of positives, but you got to focus on winning and really focus on. Hey, the last drive, yes, absolutely. But there's so many opportunities from the first 3.5 quarters that had a huge impact on winning this game. We had plenty of opportunities to take advantage of them, and we didn't.
How do you balance taking the good and what needs to be improved for the rest of the season?
Yeah, that's the journey that you're on in the NFL. You have to take it each and every week. We have to educate ourselves. We have to go through a growth process. Certainly tomorrow is an important part. We have to grow from this. We have to get better. There is a lot of football ahead of us. And so we need to take the next steps. And, this next week will be our first time on the road. Big time challenge going up to Seattle. And our guys got to lock in. When you play on the road, you got to lock in and play together.
Do you take any positive out of the fact that you had a shot to win both of them in the last minute of the game?
you can say we're putting ourselves in position to win games. Ultimately, again, we got to do what winning teams do, and we got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Did you feel like the penalties and mistakes were cleaned up at all? It seemed like it did kind of get less into the game on.
Yeah, there's still some uncontrolled or some completely controlled, penalties, and so that's the main thing. We can't have the silly ones, the third down penalties when we're in great position on defense, and just the silly things on offense that 100% in our control. We're downfield on one, and so we got to play better from that standpoint. I felt like we took a step. I think our operation was cleaner on offense. We were able to still use tempo, but play it under control. Thought Spencer did a good job in that from that standpoint, but again, we just got to play at a higher level.
What's the stance on the missed a lot there in the games that one you expect him to bring in?
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to look back at that, and I'll watch the film and see exactly how it went down. But obviously, it's a missed opportunity. It's a critical missed opportunity for us. It's a big time moment on our first opening drive, and so we're right there, and we got to get it done.
The tempo, I can't remember which batter it was before the touchdown.
Yep.
Ran the ball 3 times in a row. Was that just to keep the higher defense on the field? You got to keep them.
Yeah, certainly we felt like the drive was extending, felt like there was a lot of positives to keeping them on the field, forced them to stay organized. And so, I felt like our guys, that was a good drive for us right before the half.
You talk about what you saw from Rattler, not with his arm, but with his legs.
His legs certainly showed up. The fourth down was a really good decision with the ability to throw it, and he ran with it. And so certainly he made some plays with his feet, got some first downs in some situations. And so certainly a good thing for him.
You feel like were you looking to open up the offense today, being able to connect on some of the
We had some deep opportunities. I think we hit some, we did miss some. And so we got to continue to find ways to get downfield with our guys. We got some really talented players who can play with speed and vertical threats. And so we got to find ways to hit more of them.
Was that just more of a reflection of the way San Francisco was playing with more just a single high, or did you guys make a conceded effort there?
Probably both sides of it. Naturally, defense is going to dictate a few things here and there, but certainly we were trying to find more opportunities as we went.
Through 2 games, how's it been for you kind of balancing, the play calling while also being a head coach? Like, what's that been like for you, and has that been tough?
Yeah, I feel like it's been good. We got a good group of coaches. We all are on the same page. There's certainly opportunities that we get to keep growing from, but I feel like the communication's been really good, and so we just got to play better.
Coach, a lot of guys speak to your prep and how you help them prepare for weeks in and weeks out. Going into week 3, is there any difference going to be in the prep work that you do to give to the players and for your coaching staff?
I think we just really got to lock in on the plan. And, we talk about, a blueprint each and every week. There's a defined blueprint for all 3 phases and how we want to win the game from a team perspective. And we got to focus on that. We got to get that done. This will be our first game on the road in a really loud environment in Seattle. It'll be our first time with this group in those environments. And so, there's great opportunity and excitement when you go on the road and you do it together and you have to rally together. And so, it'll be an exciting opportunity for us to go get it.
I'm going to watch the film, but how do you feel like Sanger did, but also just the communication with the secondary in general?
Yeah, I felt like for the most part, communication was good. I don't feel like we had a bunch of miscommunication on the back end. We gave ourselves opportunities. We just got to take advantage of the ops.
With the footing, you were saying players were commenting about that pregame. What can you do at that point, like beyond maybe just changing to cleats?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it really had an impact on this game. It's fine.
Kelly, did you address the transaction you all had Saturday, the trade for the receiver?
Oh, yeah. Jalen's obviously on injured reserve already, so he was already on injured reserve with New England, so we were able to acquire him. We're really excited about that. He was, everyone watched him coming out of the draft. Just last year, we felt like everyone, when I was in Philly, when the staff here was in New Orleans, obviously, everyone had great feedback on it. We felt like it was a great opportunity for the future to bring a guy in who we all think highly of. Add to that room. We feel like that room has. We just got a ton of depth in that room for certainly this year, and his becomes a factor in next year, and so that'll be a different experience there. But we feel like we're just adding to a really talented room right now.
How much are you hoping a fresh start for him kind of unlocks whatever on property?
Yeah. I mean, it's the first year in the NFL. I mean, I'm not going to overreact to whatever happened in New England. There's some circumstances there. We liked him coming out. Got good feedback. Excited with where he's going.
Kim, circling back to Sanker's play, how do you think they kind of step up in the contest?
Yeah, I thought Jonas did a really good job. I'll obviously have to watch the film and evaluate it, but from my standpoint, just watching the game, felt like he made a couple really sound tackles. I thought him and Justin communicated at a really high level on the back end. Certainly feel like we're in a good position with those guys back there.
Is there anything you saw in the missed field goal in the operation?
Yeah, no, I'll have to get the feedback on that later.
I mean, with 2 missed picks from Ruby now, is there?
Obviously, we just got to get better. Blake's got too much good going on. You just got to get better, clean it up. I think he will.
Were there any injuries?
Nothing that impact that game. Everyone finished the game. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat? Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. That's me. And I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints fall to the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 26-21. Moves the Saints to 0-2 on the season, giving up back-to-back home games. And, there were some things in this game, I'm pretty sure we all can hang our hat on, that said, that was the reason why the Saints lost. Probably said that to ourselves. But, I think that this team took a step forward, in a positive direction when it comes with some of the play. Want to give some credit to a few guys. Want to start with Ernest Sanker, who came in, filling in for Julian Blackman. I thought that he did a commendable job. He made some plays. Give a credit to Chris Rumph, who got that forced fumble where the Saints needed it most, especially when you look at the 49ers. It seemed like they were gaining momentum with quarterback Mac Jones. Credit to the running game. The offensive line did a really good job at opening up holes for Alvin Kamara. He had 21 carries for 99 yards, about a 4.8 yard average. So definitely was extremely active in his game. Credit to Spencer Rattler, who had 3 touchdowns, completed about 70% of his passes, and really took a step forward in being a starting quarterback in the league. I wish I could just give you all some good news in regards to, even though the Saints did some positive things, they trend in the right direction, which is going to lead to them going on a winning streak. I do not see that. I do not see the New Orleans Saints going on a winning streak. I do not see the Saints winning more games than losing. I see pretty much a team that has a lot of fight, a lot of grit, and they're going to try to do everything that they can to try to win a football game. And that is what the New Orleans Saints organization understands, what is on the field for them. I have come to the conclusion that the New Orleans Saints organization know that this team isn't good enough to win a lot of football games. But they want to keep us, in tune with the team. They want us to be emotionally invested in this football team. And coming down to the last possession, that is what they want. At least they feel like, even though the Saints may lack talent, more talent that you will see from other teams that they're playing against, the opposition, at least that they're going to go out there and they're not going to quit. And that's going to be enough for Saints fans. But look, they are not fooling me. They are not pulling wool over my eyes. I can see that this is pretty much a rebuild, and this team understands what they are and who they are. Probably one of the main reasons why they didn't go out and get a a veteran quarterback to come into this room. Probably the reason why they waited so long to get a big body receiver. Thus the reason why they're going out here, going through the scrap heap instead of trying to get somebody with some quality that can give you instant success. They're rolling with guys that have been given up on by teams, guys that are so deep on the depth chart that you need a magnifying glass and Sherlock Holmes to find them. This is what the Saints are. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. Like I have no emotional investment in this football team doing anything other than going out there trying to do their best at winning a football game. And when you live in this world that I'm in, ladies and gentlemen, you can do shows like this with a lot of passion, then leave out this room and go watch some other NFL games. I mean, it's just that simple. But credit to them. You know, they fought very hard, came down to the final possession. The pressure of the San Francisco 49ers was just too much for the Saints offensive line. Tell me if you have heard that before. And they just don't have what it takes. Number one, the wide receiver group, as talented as they are, none of them are number one guys. I mentioned this before, and I want to see all of the backlash that I got on social media. I want to see all of these people up here that were trying to debate me, talking about I don't know what I'm talking about, because this is what y'all do. When I say something that makes some sense, then it automatically comes to fruition. Then all of a sudden, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. But then if I put something else out there, then people want to jump on me and question my credibility. But where y'all at today when I've been saying since 2023 that Chris Olave is not a number one receiver? I stand on business when I say that. Being a number one receiver involve you having this dog-like mentality where everybody in the stadium, everybody in the arena knows who's getting the football, and it does not matter. For example, there was a game that was played between the New York Football Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. With about 30 seconds left on the clock, Russell Wilson turning back the clock, deep ball pass. Did he throw the pass to any other receiver that wasn't named Malik Neighbors? No. Did he try to throw it to Wendell Robinson? He did not. Did he try to throw it to Slayton? He did not. He threw it to Malik Neighbors in double coverage, and he believed that Malik Neighbors was going to come down with the football, and he did. Why? Because he a dog, and he's a number one receiver. Chris Olave has been dealing with some things. I don't care. It's emotional stuff. You can see it, how he's playing on the field. And anybody that's played the wide receiver position, you know what I'm talking about. This man was slipping and falling on the ground when nobody was around him. He was like people talking about, oh, the footing. No, this ain't have nothing to do with the footing. This is a guy who understands, oh, I got to catch the ball and get down. And it's causing him to be in his head. The man is shell-shocked right now. Just as probably so. I mean, last week he took a really big hit from Will Johnson. Last year he took a big hit against the Chargers, got knocked out of a game versus the Carolina Panthers. I get all that. I understand that. But the New Orleans Saints, I'm telling you right now, they would have to be insane to give this guy a contract extension that would resemble that of a Garrett Wilson, a DK Metcalf, or any of these other high-profile wide receivers that they have out here. Chris Olave is good, but he is not number one good. And it is about time that these Saints fans that just want to rally behind somebody just to say, oh, man, he our guy. He is our guy. But we have to be realistic about our guy. Our guy is not a number one. He is not a number one. This guy does not show up in big moments. I encourage anybody to go. Don't tell me a one-hand snag. Don't tell me a pass he caught over a Falcon defender. Tell me about a game that you can think about where Chris Olave just took over and everybody was like, man, Chris Olave was balling out. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. There's only one game that I saw from Chris Olave in his entire career where he just looked like the best wide receiver on the field, and that was a game where Jameis Winston was the quarterback in Chris Olave's rookie season where he had over 180 yards receiving. Other than that, I have not seen it, which leads me to the next guy who I do not believe in, and I cannot believe the New Orleans Saints wasted the entire Who Dat Nation's time by re-signing Juwan Johnson. Oh, Juwan Johnson, well, man, he had that clutch catch over there on the left sidelines, man. I do not care. See, that's what we do. We know that these guys are not what they need to be. Then all of a sudden they make a play. Now all of a sudden we in a mention, man, you seen that? Yes, I did see it. But it does not change the fact that Juwan Johnson is a mediocre tight end that the New Orleans Saints are trying to make a dog and make a number one, and he is not. Okay, you could have went out here and got yourself a tight end in the offseason that would have gave you more production than Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson is a bottom tier wide receiver masquerading as a tight end. This man drops passes that my 6-year-old son Paxton can catch, but goes out here and catches these passes that he has no business doing. Now he wants to lip wrestle and yap with the fans and talk about I'm him. You are not him. I'm Tim. You ain't him, dude. I can tell you that right now. You can talk. Look. I like the fact that he has confidence in himself. I like the fact that he thinks that he is him, but he is not. Okay, there are some tight ends in the league right now that can give you way more production than Juwan Johnson can. Juwan Johnson ain't it. Chris Olave is not a number one. And when you combine that with small wide receivers, they get pushed off the line of scrimmage. And once again, got to put an APB out for them. You are not winning no football games like that. And as far as all these people out here talking about Spencer Rattler, well, Spencer Rattler, he's 0-8 as a starting quarterback. This is not basketball, you morons. This isn't basketball where you can basically be one player away from winning a championship. And you can take that player and he can put the team on his entire back. If he misses a jumper, a 20-foot jumper that could have won the game for you, yes, he is the reason why you lost the football game. But you New Orleans Saints fans out there, for some apparent reason, just got this emotional investment on the failure of Spencer Rattler. You're hanging the fact that the Saints aren't winning football games because they're not good enough. And you're putting that on the shoulders of a guy who completed about 70% of his passes and 3 touchdowns in a game. Miss me with that nonsense. I get it. Everybody loved Drew Brees, but some of you people are spoiled by the greatness of Drew Brees. And now any quarterback that may not be as accurate. Keep in mind, Drew Brees is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history. Not just, next to Jalen Hurts, next to, let's look at his era, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, not just next to them, in the history, in the 100+ years of football. And some of you don't even realize or even fathom the fact that you are a prisoner of his greatness. Everybody is not going to be that. And what you're looking at in Spencer Rattler is a quarterback that is getting better week after week. But when you're so busy looking for him to throw 350 yards because, I don't know, Joe Burrow did it or Jalen Hurts did it or Josh Allen did it, all of a sudden, he ain't good enough. This young man is getting better every single week. And based on what the New Orleans Saints have at the wide receiver position, the guys can't get open, dropping wide open passes. This man is still out here facilitating the ball, and he was 3 of 3 in the red zone and gave you enough for you to be able to win a football game. Blake Groupie, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Everybody was telling me he's supposed to be Justin Tucker 2.0, but this man could not kick a field goal between the uprights to save his mama life. So maybe you need to think about bringing Charlie Smith out there. And God bless Pete Warner, but Pete Warner, I don't know what the heck wrong with him either. I mean, you look at the Mario Davis, 36 years old, playing like he's 26, and you got Pete Warner, who probably is 26 or 27 and can't make a tackle, sitting in coverage, getting caught flat-footed. One of the main reasons why Juwan Jennings ended up scoring a 42-yard touchdown. These are the things, ladies and gentlemen, that get you beat. These are the things that are going to constantly have shows like, well, the New Orleans Saints really played hard today. They really fought with everything that they had, but they just couldn't get the job done. I mean, we might as well just go ahead and just keep on repeating the same things over and over again. The New Orleans Saints continue to shoot themselves in the foot and not take advantage of opportunities. And when you are a limited football team, you have to play virtually perfect in order for you to be there. Imagine what the New Orleans Saints can actually do if they actually executed. Imagine what they would actually do if they had a number one receiver. they will actually actually be a pretty credible team, because I think we all can agree they're not as bad as people think. But when you shoot yourself in the foot, you will be as bad as everybody thinks. But let me go ahead and read some of these comments, man. Let me go ahead and read some of these comments. Thank y'all so much for being here. Says Mike is a number one wide receiver. He took over many games. I haven't seen that in a long time. Michael Thomas was a number one receiver, without a shadow of a doubt. Everybody knew that he was going to get the football, and it did not matter. That is to me the key quality of a number one receiver, not somebody that just shows up first on a depth chart. Anybody that's defending Chris Olave and still calling him a number one receiver right now, I just question your knowledge of football in general. Like, you can still love a football team, still support a player, and be realistic about it. I will go even deeper. If the New Orleans Saints continue to trend down this road, let's just say they lose to Seattle, they lose to Buffalo, which is probably going to happen. And then you look at the Giants and the Patriots, and you look at how the Giants played today, how the Patriots played today. That's not out of the realm of possibility. The Saints going 0-6. If the Saints going 0-6 and the season is just an absolute nightmare, why not try to trade Chris Olave? Why not? Because I'm telling you right now, if Mickey Loomis gives Chris Olave a long-term deal with the New Orleans Saints after he has shown you that he is not a number one, but you're paying him like a number one, that is, yet again, malpractice performed by Mickey Loomis to set this team back even further. Chris Olave is a solid number two receiver, key contributor. If your number one goes down, you can probably, throw the ball to him and he'll probably go over 100 yards or close to it with the right quarterback, right situation. But he is not a number one wide receiver. He is not. He is not a number one wide receiver. And I've been saying this for the last 2 seasons. I've been telling y'all this for the last 2 seasons. But, some of you just want to be right instead of just looking at what's actually in front of you right now. The game don't lie. The tape don't lie. It does not lie. Strolling down. Rattler had a couple hiccups, but played damn good and is making progress. Yadam needs to stay off the field. Isaac Adam got picked on. Isaac Adam played for the 49ers, so they know him pretty well. Any other team in the National Football League, Isaac Adam is not a starter. Look around the National Football League, Isaac Adam is not a starter. And that's someone else that you might want to take a look at, because you got to keep in mind, if he plays a certain percentage of the snaps, then the New Orleans Saints give up, their first round supplemental pick that they would have got for Paulson Adebo. I will roll with Quincy Riley. Like, okay, I would at least have Quincy Riley out there playing, because if Ike Adam out there getting work like that, then why is he even out there? Why is he even out there? You might as well see what you got in the young Bulls, since you already got Jonas Sink out there. I'm talking about down the line. I'm talking about in a couple weeks. Like, if things continue to spiral the way that they have, close but no cigars, they fought hard. They fought the good fight. They kept the faith. Okay, if things continue to be like this, then you might as well see what you have with some of these younger players. But no need for you to be squandering draft picks on Ike Yadam, who a liability in coverage. He's scared. You can't run and slot routes. He can be a over-the-top seam route receiver if he's fast enough. We need a good tight end ASAP. Kevin, look, he's shell-shocked, and his confidence is lost. His confidence is lost. I'm telling y'all, go back and watch the film. I am not tripping. All 22 will be out. Go back and watch Chris Olave on some of these receptions. I'm telling you, the dude is shell-shocked. He catches a pass, and like I said, in his mind, he's thinking about falling down because he doesn't want to absorb a hit, because he's so used to catching some of those passes. Now he's getting nervous. So even if he can be able to get up the field, get yards after the catch, he's thinking about somebody taking his head off. The man confidence is shot. He's tripping on the ground, falling on the ground when nobody's around him. Go back and take a look, folks. I'm telling you, man. And look, I get it. When you have absorbed as much punishment to the head as Chris Olave has, yes, I mean, it takes a very strong person not to have that in the back of their minds. But right now, it's affecting his play. And I'm concerned if we're ever going to see the version of Chris Olave that we all expected when him coming out of Ohio State back in 2022. Rattler completed 73% with 3 touchdowns and a 118 QBR. What you talking about? Man, I'm tired of people disrespecting Spencer Rattler like this. They acting like Spencer Rattler is the reason why the Saints are losing. Look, man, if you want Tyler Shuck that badly, okay, if you want just Tyler Shuck, that's what we do. I tell people this all the time for my new subscribers, new viewers that just checking this out. I say that Saints fans suffer from something I like to call the Buzz Lightyear effect. Now, if you ever seen the movie Toy Story, the first one, you know that Woody was Andy's favorite toy, the little boy. Then all of a sudden a birthday party happens and Buzz Lightyear comes out of the pack. Now he has all these different bells and whistles. Now everybody forgets about Woody. The reality is the next person that we never seen, never played, always better than what we actually have on the field right now. As if these coaches don't understand these players. They see countless hours of how these players act, react, and practice. And then all of a sudden, just because you've seen a dude catch a pass on 3rd and 4th string receivers, just because you've seen a guy get drafted in the 2nd round and he still has the new fresh car smell to him, all of a sudden he's the best thing, versus whoever's in the game. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You have people that are really, honestly, looking at a guy who has 73% completion percentage, 118 QBR, 3 touchdowns today, and 3 of 3 in the red zone, and sitting up here talking about this guy doesn't have what it takes. He is getting better every single week, and you're doing yourself an injustice without, not looking at the obvious thing in front of you. People care too much about trying to be right about a situation. Like, they want to be right so bad that they're willing to eliminate their thought patterns and when there are good qualities right in front of them. I never want to be like this. As much as I give my opinion over the 1,800 episodes of this show, anybody will tell you if I have a wrong take or a wrong opinion about somebody, I will come back and say I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. I am not going to double down, triple down, quadruple down on nonsense when things are getting better around me just so I can be right. And it's too much of that going on right now. This is a guy who is a young quarterback who is getting better every single week. He has yet to really turn the ball over. He is getting the ball into the hands of the playmakers that the New Orleans Saints have. And yet people still don't want to give this guy his props because, oh, man, he 0-8. No, the Saints are 0-8 with Spencer Rattler as the quarterback. There have been times where the Saints, it come down to the final possession. And Spencer Rattler has put the ball in the hands of a receiver that is capable of making a play. He has converted a 2-point conversion. He has done the things that you would like to see, including fighting for extra yards, giving you everything that he possibly can. So all I'm saying is if you don't want to ride with this guy or support the guy, like if he completes 73% of his passes and 3 touchdowns and you still sitting up here talking about this man ain't good enough, like, you just a hater. You're just a hater and you want this guy to fail. You just want him to fail. But everybody, man, they need to put Shuck in. You don't think that the Saints will want to put Tyler Shuck in? They drafted the guy. This coaching staff drafted the guy. And they're not willing to put a guy in that they drafted, that they invested in, that they feel like could have took this team to the next point. They put the guy in that was there before they even got there. But they supposed to just put him in. Why? Because he knew. And we don't know what he can do. Well, I mean, so if he goes out there, fumbles all over himself, then what? Then what? But that's what we do. Oh, Pete Warner, he's not good enough. Put Danny Stutzman in. And if Danny Stutzman is a liability in coverage and start getting beat, well, man, we ain't got nothing. Because we are so impatient and don't give a guy an opportunity to be able to develop. It's always the next guy is always better in the eyes of Saints fans. Oh, man, they need to put in. No, they don't need to put in anybody. This team is limited. And why put in a guy who is inexperienced? And honestly, let's just keep it a buck. It's one of the main reasons why you have the opinion of Spencer Rattler right now. Go back and take a look at what I said about Spencer Rattler. I said it last year. I said, I do not want Spencer Rattler playing in these games when Dennis Allen was the coach. Why? Because people are going to hold him responsible for the ineptitude of the New Orleans Saints. No, man, that ain't it, bro. I mean, I can evaluate Spencer Rattler. I can know it's the team. I know Dennis Allen needs to be fired. And what's the first thing Saints fans do? They talk about 0-8. When everybody on that coaching staff is gone, the coach couldn't even survive a full season, and you know they put Spencer Rattler out there just to keep the Saints fans' asses in seats. You know that. But, of course, you don't want to accept that. Why? Because I got to be right. I got to get on Twitter, and I got to make sure I can go at Nick Underhill. I can go at Ross Jackson. I can go at TJ and say, man, y'all was up here hyping up Rattler. Man, miss me with that nonsense. Y'all know it. You know it. I know it. That the man was put in a very difficult situation. He wasn't even the backup quarterback. But we're going to take it for what it is. I got a narrative that I got to build. He's an 0-8 starting quarterback. Okay, like I said, most of you care more about being right, and you will be willing to sacrifice being miserable as a Saints fan just so you can be right about Rattler. And then what? What, we put in Tyler Shuck, and he showed you he's a rookie, and then you really feel like the team don't have any hope. No, that ain't going to happen, TJ. That lies. 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 The lies y'all tell. I'm sick of y'all. We going to talk today. We going to keep it 100 today. These people out here talking about 0-8. He's a starting quarterback. He 0-8 as a starting quarterback. Nah, bruh. Y'all wanted this narrative to run. How in God's name can y'all talk about how trash Dennis Allen was as a head coach, then turn around and hold Spencer Rattler accountable for the muckety muck that was the 2024 Saints? Some of y'all just need to shut the hell up. For real. Stop talking football because you talk way more with your emotions than actual logic. How you sitting up here talking about fire the coach, fire the GM, fire the coordinator, fire everybody, and then all of a sudden, well, Spencer Rattler, he 0-8 as a starting quarterback. He's not good enough to be the starting quarterback. How in the world can you do that? Oh, man, I mean, this part right here, that's bad. But this right here, this good. But now I'm gonna make this my narrative. Not this right here. Yeah, we need to fire all this. But he should have rose above the firing. Okay, miss me with that, man. Y'all are a bunch. Y'all some comedians out here in this Saints world, man. Y'all some comedians. Who that? Y'all enough tough loss. But I am encouraged by this team. If the Saints scored a touchdown on that opening drive to Olave, the Saints would have won this game. I don't know if they would have won the game or not. I mean, we can talk about that. Oh, you know, who knows? It would have made the 49ers maybe do something different. I don't know if it would have helped them win the game or not. Yes, you want to be able to convert that pass. Yes, you know, you want to be able to catch that early lead against a team that were trying to figure it out as they go, trying to just get out of there with the heights of the century. Yes, but at the end of the day, there was a lot more football that was played, and a lot of those mistakes by the Saints to open up the game, yeah, it didn't really help them. But I won't say they would have won the game. I don't know if they would have won that game or not. But all I know is the Saints they need some help on the offense side of football. I remember you saying that last year, TJ. Look, I've been talking about this whole Olave Juwan Johnson thing for a good little minute, man. And I stand on that. And no, it will not change. If Chris Olave goes out there and go for 100 yards next week against Seattle, I still will be saying the same thing because my takes and my thoughts are not just on third down and then change on fourth down. No, I come to these conclusions based on what I've seen. I have a large enough sample size of seeing a few players that I know what you see is eventually what you're going to get. Like Cesar Ruiz, Get him up out of here. He is what he is at this point. He is what he is. He's a liability on the offensive line. Well, TJ, man, he started out being a center in college. I mean, the Saints moved him to guard. Well, look, if you're going to keep a guy around who was a center and you got him playing guard and he's not giving you the production, but instead you give him a 4-year, $44 million contract with $27 million guaranteed and about $7 million at the time of signing, and he's out there getting bull rushed by no-name defensive lineman that's a part of a rotation, being a liability. Like, I don't care what you talk. I don't care where you drafting him at. It's time to let him go. But instead, you pay him. Why? I don't know why. I mean, can you tell me why they paid him? I don't understand why they paid Juwan Johnson. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it's just the fact that these are just nice individuals. They come to the facility, they shake everybody's hand, they hug the lunch lady, and they give the GM and the owner a high five, right? Oh, they showed up at the little clothing drive. Maybe that's the reason why. The Saints are giving out contracts like a Lifetime Achievement Award. There's no way in the world that you're seeing teams operate like the New Orleans Saints. Oh, they're such good people. They can be great people for the Kansas City Chiefs. They can be great people for the Minnesota Vikings. Try to find yourself some guys, some young dogs on the team, like a Calvin Banks that stood on business after a late hit on his quarterback, was willing to go after everybody, pushing and shoving everybody. That is a dog. Give me about 4 more guys on the offensive line like Calvin Banks, and the Saints going to be all right. Give me more Calvin Banks, less Cesar Ruiz. TJ, if Shuck had the performance Rattler had through 2 games, this chat would be talking about how everything else is the problem and not Shuck did bias. Absolutely biased. 100% biased. 100% biased. A lot of these Saints fans are biased. They biased because they want to see something fresh and new. And you know the crazy thing about it? If they start Tyler Shuck and the Saints draft another quarterback next year, and let's just say Tyler Shuck was solid when he came in, they'll still be sitting up here, man, we need to, man, he wasn't it. He was sitting on the bench, and Spencer Rattler was the starter. Well, if Spencer Rattler started, he must not have been good enough to be the starter, so we might well put the rookie in. That's what you're going to do. Anything fresh and new and brand new, it can solve the Saints' problem. It don't matter. This dude can be a liability in coverage, but they draft him, and all of a sudden, oh, man, you seen what he said? You seen that take he had? He said he going to bring the juice every single week. He gonna bring the juice every single week. I seen what he said on Twitter. He looked like a dog. You see the vase he had on before the game. You seen them J's he was stepping with. Oh man, he a dog. Who starting right now? Pete Warner. Oh nah, man, we don't need Pete Warner out here, man. We need that guy. You seen how he shaved his head and cut his mustache off? Like, man, miss me with that. Some of y'all really honestly be evaluating talent based on their haircut and their shoe preference. Like, give me a freaking break. These are the type of people that I'm supposed to be sitting up here going back and forth with, that you basically evaluate talent on them choosing between wearing some Nikes, I guess some regular Nike Shock Turbos or something, or some Jordan 12s. Like, give me a freaking break. We are not the same, my friend. We are not the same. And that is one of the reasons why most of the time when a lot of these people that try to get at me on social media, I laugh at you, because you don't have the balls to be able to call up or even try to spar at all in the chat. You're just trying to get a rise out of individuals talking nonsensical stuff that makes absolutely no sense in a grand scheme of things. And then the worst thing about it is you don't even have enough pride, enough dignity, enough of the cojones to stand on business. Most of y'all standing on Tommy. Y'all know what I'm talking about? All my people, where my people at that used to watch Martin? When Tommy Strong used to talk about his job, what did they say? You ain't got no job, man. Y'all standing on Tommy. Meaning y'all ain't got no business to stand on, because you go missing when things don't go your way. No respect. No respect for that. Keep it a buck. Keep your yap shut. That's all I gotta say. Keep it a buck, keep your yap shut. Well, I look like going back and forth with somebody that's upset that Tyler Shuck didn't wear some Jordans to his rookie premiere. Oh, he don't look the part. He look like a punter out there. These are the type of people that you're supposed to be going back and forth with about sports on here, folks. Man, miss me with that. If our team should have been win the game against the Niners, Saints fans going to be happy. But here we is. It's the same old song and dance story. Cesar Ruiz, Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave need to go number one at all. Yeah, absolutely not number ones. Get them all off the team. Get them off the team after this year. But, I mean, you like Juwan Johnson. Look, Juwan Johnson played better down the stretch. It seemed like, that drop pass and people criticizing him. Maybe his wife, told him, oh, they were talking about you. Oh, they did. Then all of a sudden he won't go out there and make some acrobatic catch, but I still stand by what I say about him. Tyra, thank you very much for the $10. Says since 2020, the Saints have had 7 different quarterbacks with a combined 20 to 35 record. Don't get me started on the real reason some of y'all want Rattler to fail. Oh, man, you already know. You already know. They know who they are, and they know exactly what you're talking about. But I just find it absolutely mind-boggling that you got people out here including this man starting last season for the New Orleans Saints with a bunch of backups, a bunch of guys that were came off the street in a rotation. Dante Pettis was a guy that the Saints signed late. He was on the practice squad. Marquez Valdez-Scantling started the season with the Buffalo Bills. This man was out here throwing to a bunch of guys that he met a couple of days ago. But it don't matter, man. I got the narrative that I got to go out here with, man. I got this narrative that I'm trying to put together. I need to get this engagement up. I need to get these likes up. I need people to pay attention to me. Who got time to think about things like logic and sense when I need my Facebook to be, or my X, or my TikTok to be popping? Who got time for logic? Yeah, they fired the entire coaching staff and could have affected Spencer Rattler. And yeah, they had a bunch of backups out there, but I got a narrative that I got to put together. I got to make sure people know where I stand at. Ruiz, Adam, Groupie, Johnson can all go. Will Ben Johnson until he gets his ish together. Dropping passes like that is diabolical. Well, look, the crazy thing about it is dude drop passes, but he probably one of the best pass catchers you have on the team. He's inconsistent, but who are you going to put in his place? Who are you going to put in his place? Who at the tight end position you could what Leaky Mataval? No, I don't think so. Jack Stool? I don't think so. Maybe when Taysom or Foster Moreau come back, maybe you got a little something there. But right now, he is all you have. Them is all you have. Them is all you got. Plain and simple. So, but I wouldn't have signed him. You could have got something better than that. But I don't know. What a great guy. What a great person. I mean, he's a great person in the community. Let's sign him to a 3-year contract. TJ, I don't want to hear anything from the chat about Spencer Rattler. Dude is doing his job. Secondary is putrid. Play calling was rough and dumb penalties, cost the Saints. Spencer did good. Yeah, he did good. And I ain't trying to hear nothing about no Spencer Rattler either. I'm not trying to hear anything about Spencer Rattler. Man went out there, played well. Man went out there, did what he needed to do in order for the team to be there in the end. Defense folded like a cheap tent. Gave up big explosive plays. I mean, the coverage was terrible. Alante Taylor, I mean, for the things that he did good, he was out there getting burnt. Liability and coverage too. I mean, Isaac Allen, they just picked on him. They were like, man, that's the reason why we just decided to get rid of you. You ain't worth the, you ain't worth the, I guess the ink that the paper was printed on for your contract. So they was just like, man, look, throwing that, where he at? Okay, let's throw over there. Where he at? He over there? Okay, let's throw over there. TJ, what surprised me the most is the lack of discipline. As detailed as Kellen, I can't understand the mental fogginess. Also, Olave is either hurt, scared, or both. Well, here's the thing. That's what I can't accept. And I said this on X. I can accept the New Orleans Saints being, not a good football team at this point because they rebuilding. But what I will not accept is the undisciplined play, the false start penalties. You're able to get the guys off the field on third down, but then all of a sudden here's illegal contact, here's holding, here's illegal hands to the face. Like, you just continue to hurt yourself. Now, I will admit, that last drive that the Saints scored on, I believe Devon Vele came up with the touchdown. I got to say the referees helped the Saints out quite a bit. There were 2 defensive penalties that resulted in an automatic first down on third down for the Saints that kept the drive alive for them. So as much as we try to criticize the referees in that case, they actually helped the Saints out. They actually allowed the Saints to be able to push the ball down the field, and also those penalties were, added 30 yards to their efforts. So I give them credit in that regard for this game today. But at the end of the day, the undisciplined play of the New Orleans Saints rears its ugly head again. And if you are going to be a bad football team, if you're going to be a team that's just going to be scrappy, you're going to be a team that just has a bunch of moxie and grit, you have got to eliminate the mistakes, and you got to take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves. You can't have a kicker who has the yips early in the season, but everybody talking about this man gonna be Justin Tucker or something. You can't have your tight end missing wide open passes that my 6-year-old son can catch. You can't have your star wide receiver being shell shocked in the middle of a game. You just can't do it. And you got to make sure that you're continuing to commit to the run. Yeah, you got to make sure you do that. There were times where I felt like the play calling was a tad bit too cute. I mean, instead of you running like some of these directional plays, Alvin Kamara was getting 4 or 5 yards up the seam. So it seemed like Eric McCoy and Dylan Radins was getting busy. But instead, you keep on running these, instead of you running, north-south, you running east-west. I mean, trying to do trickeration with Rashid Shaheed. Like, it ain't cutting it, right? Sometimes it's just best to go with something that works instead of trying to be too cute, especially in some of those situations where you got Cesar Ruiz getting beat. Like, it was ridiculous. There was, like, even a play that ended the half, right? Let's go back to the play that ended the half. All right, a handoff, I would believe to Alvin Kamara. I'm talking about 49ers already in the backfield. They just waiting like this. Waiting for Alvin to get the football. Like, I mean, man, this offense, like, Ruiz liability. I'm not going to too much criticize Tallahassee Fuaga because I think you'll get a better showing from him if he wasn't dealing with an injury. And the injury seems to be pretty serious. But Cesar Ruiz, he's supposed to be able-bodied, upright, and he out there just getting absolutely worked in a running game. Like, there are certain things like you expect from your veteran players. There are certain disciplines that you expect when you have a coaching staff that put emphasis on certain things. And it just seemed like the New Orleans Saints continuously shoot themselves in the foot, and that's the reason why they're 0-2 right now. And they're going to continue to be on this downward spiral if they continue to shoot themselves in the foot. And now you're going into hostile territory in one of the loudest venues in the entire NFL in Seattle. And if you're talking about running some tempo, you really got to be on the same page. So you didn't take advantage of your 2 opening home games. You didn't win any of those games. So now you got to go on the road and you got to try to minimize the mistakes and these false start penalties in a hostile territory. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Refs just gave that back to us because they called some BS. Look, I don't care what they did. The fact of the matter is they kept the New Orleans Saints in the game. That's the thing. That's not just like seriously. That's what we do. All right. Now I'm a firm believer in them calling some very ticky-tacky stuff on the New Orleans Saints. But we gotta understand that the Saints are not in that position without the referees calling that flag. I'm not going to minimize the magnitude of that because I don't like the referees. oh, well, they only gave up. Nah. They wouldn't have been in that position one for the referees. We got to call a spade sometimes too. We can talk about some of the, the frost and flaky calls by the referees in years past, but on this day, you're not in that situation without those referees calling them flags on some of them plays that I would have to admit, like that Kool-Aid McKinstry. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, not that Kool-Aid. It was the Upton play on Chris Olave. TJ, is this undisciplined play and inconsistent on Kellen Moore, who is being held accountable? Well, it should be on Kellen Moore's shoulders. It definitely should be. Now, I'm gonna give him credit. Last week, they had 16 total penalties, 13 were accepted for 89 yards. You cut that down, you have 7 penalties. And they only had 2 penalties in the second half. 5 of those penalties of the 7 came in the first half. And I also have to give the Saints credit with the halftime adjustments. The adjustments over the last 2 weeks have been really good. Teams have been able to do things in the first half. The Saints kind of buckled down on them, right, in the second half. So they're making the necessary adjustments. They're basically finding ways to neutralize teams' offenses and defenses. But, they're still giving up big plays at inopportune times. But, yes, this is definitely on Kellen Moore. Like, look no further than Kellen Moore when it comes to that. Like, you can't control the talent level that you have on your team being a first-year coach. You inherited some guys, and some guys you drafted, but you're only one draft class in. But what we can hold you accountable for is the lack of discipline from this team, giving up big explosive plays on third down. Rather, it's them giving up a 15-yard play or them holding to be an automatic first down. Those are the type of things that you can control. But they cut their penalties in half, so I give them credit for that. But he definitely should be held responsible for an undisciplined play throughout games. When Rattler broke that tackle, was all I needed to see. He has that dog in him and showing improvement every week, and that's what we have to look for. Not what week he gonna become Drew Brees, what week he gonna become Tom Brady. It's a marathon, not a sprint. This guy is slowly getting better each week. Every week you see under Kellen Moore, it seems like his play has improved. Now, this is going to be a big test for him, another big test. I feel today, I think he passed that test. I don't think, of course not, because it's just about what I see on my TV. It's not the magnitude of the game. It's not the storylines behind the scenes and why things are impressive. It's never that, right? It's, oh, man, he go throw that pass to Chris Olave. Do y'all understand that Robert Saleh is one of the most well-respected defensive coordinators in football? The fact that this man was able to operate and not turn the ball over against a 49ers defense that is known for being one of the best in the league, to me, Spencer Rattler took a step forward. If Spencer Rattler would have had 3 touchdowns last week versus the Arizona Cardinals, I still would have been waiting to see how he would have been able to facilitate the ball against Robert Saleh. I still would have been waiting to give him credit. The fact that he threw 3 touchdowns against a 49ers team that is known for their defense and that will get after the quarterback, that sends pressure and have one of the best defensive ends in all of football, and this man was out there 73% of his passes, 118 QBR, 3 touchdowns. Like, I don't think y'all understand the magnitude of who this dude was actually going up against. Who was calling the defense on the other side of the football? That is Robert freaking Saleh out there. And I guarantee you, the 49ers will have a top 10 defense this season. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. But once again, I got these narratives that I got to create, man. I ain't got no time to listen to logic. Okay. Man, best performance came against one of the best defensive coordinators in all the game. And y'all still up here talking about, man, he 0-8. No, the Saints are 0-8, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like the man throwing more picks than Razor Ramon out there. Team just giving up big plays, and it's coming down to the final possession. Speak the truth to power, TJ. 4 quarters, not 2. Kellen Moore said 2 words that made me mad. He said, clean it up. Dennis Allen used to say the same thing and nothing ever happened. Well, Tyra, like I said, I see from week 1 to week 2, I see some improvement. We see an improvement, putting more emphasis on the running game. Like, look, when we lose, sometimes we have a tendency of like looking at the fact that we lost, but we're not looking at like some of the positive aspects of the game. Everything about the same stat line and what they did today should have resulted in a win. You had Alvin Kamara had 21 carries for 99 yards. He also pitched in a passing game. Let me make sure I get. Let me see. Alvin Kamara had 6 catches for 21 yards. So, I mean, you're talking about a guy who had 120 yards from scrimmage. So he had 120 total yards. He averaged 4.7 yards a carry. So they were able to run the football effectively. You got a quarterback who didn't turn the ball over, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, right? You was able to get the Mac Jones 3 times. So the Saints have a total of 8 sacks in 2 weeks. Red zone, you were 3 of 3 in the red zone. Now your third down efficiency was terrible, 4 of 11. You need to work on that. But they did a lot of things last week that they didn't do. They did this week. So that's improvement. That's improvement. All right. So cutting down on the penalties, cutting them in half, right? Only having 2 penalties in the second half. 3 of 3 in the red zone when you were 1 and 4 last week. I mean, so you're improving. You're improving. So I'm not going to just sit up here and just say, oh man, they're not improving, because I see the improvement from week 1 to week 2. It may not feel that way because the only thing right now Saints fans want is a win. It feel like it's been so long since the Saints actually won a football game. I mean, so people just want to see a win. And when you don't win, it's like everybody just trying to figure out, like, man, like what's it going to take? Whether we get rid of this and add this. But I see them trending in the right direction. I just don't think they have the horses in the barn to be able to compete every single week with some of these teams in the league. I like that one, TJ, throwing more picks than Razor Ramon. Yeah, man, look, man was out there facilitating the ball, not turning the ball over, and that's the best you can ask for a young quarterback. We have to start drafting real talent and stop getting these guys that are project players. Well, I mean, they got some talented players out here right now. Like Uranus Sinker, I think that he's been playing well. Calvin Banks, he's been playing well. We seen Quincy Riley. I think he played well on special teams. Was playing gunner and was able to run down the field, get a really good tackle late in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, you're seeing like some of these young players making plays. So this draft class, they're starting to flash a little bit, and I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, I think they're doing the right things, but they just got to continue to do this throughout the years. Cam looked like he changed that clock again. Looked like he was washing clothes, need a better rush. Yeah, I mean, Cam only had like one tackle in this entire game. But I said this before, it's great and it's a pleasant surprise to see Cam Jordan turning back the clock. But just because he did that last week, you shouldn't anticipate a 36-year-old Cam Jordan doing that every week. All right. And I'm not expecting him to. But I am expecting Carl Granderson to have one or 2 sacks a game. And Carl Granderson had 2 sacks in a game. So I can live with Cam Jordan, because at this point, understand this, Who Dat Nation. Anything that Cam Jordan does on that defensive line is just a little bit of lanyard, because you're really relying on guys like Carl Granderson and Brian Brzee and Chase Young when he comes back to be your anchors on defense. Cam Jordan pitching in the absence of Chase Young is just lanyard. Like, just because he was able to do that last week, I'm not looking for him at 36 years old to be leading the league in sacks. If he ends up getting 4 or 5 sacks this season, I'm okay with that, because Cam Jordan at this stage shouldn't be your premier pass rusher. It should fall at the lap of Chase Young or Carl Granderson. Those are the guys that I'm looking at. So, I mean, Cam Jordan showed you that he's capable of still playing great. And this week he's showing you that he's a 36-year-old defensive end doing it. So it was great to see Cam Jordan do that last week, but I didn't anticipate Cam Jordan coming in against the 49ers and doing that this week. Where my boy Danny Stutzman at? I mean, on special teams, they need to put Danny Stutzman on coverage downs. I mean, I don't know, man. There's a reason why I feel like Stutzman isn't out there. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that P. Warner has a contract. I don't think that. I think that the Saints feel like Danny Stutzman is not better than P. Warner right now, and I don't think that he is. I think that he plays well, but I don't think that he's better than P. Warner at this point. These are not mediocre, under average teams they were losing to. Yeah, I mean, the Arizona Cardinals are a really good team. They poised to, even win the West. They're supposed to be a contender in the West. So, to think that, oh, man, they're just the Cardinals. Like, you're looking at what the Cardinals are in NFL circles. They're known for a team that's not being very good. So all of a sudden, like, you kind of take on that. And you're looking at the Arizona Cardinals right now. I mean, they're beating the brakes off the Carolina Panthers 27-3. So, I mean, the Saints were right there in the thick of things. Right? And as I speak right now, I mean, they putting 2 foots in the Carolina Panthers. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think we got to, get them boys some credit. And it also just tells you the Saints aren't as bad as you think either. Just saying, TJ, seem like our players are the only ones with no football IQ. Can't catch simple passes, can't tackle, etc. Stuff stressful. Yeah, it is stressful. It's stressful when you have these players out here not making plays, dropping easy passes, plays that can convert plays, get touchdowns. They're just not good enough right now. The Saints are trying to figure this thing out. They're trying to learn how to win. And right now, they're getting close. And, hopefully when they decide to get it all together, it can actually translate to some success. But as of right now, the Saints just aren't a good football team, man. I know it's just hard for a lot of people to accept. It's hard to accept that a team that you love more than anything is just not good. The Saints just aren't a good football team. And that's okay. It's okay as long as, number one, you understand that they're rebuilding something and you're seeing like some of these players that could possibly be cornerstone players in the future flashing right before your eyes. Because we all know that the Saints weren't going anywhere. Like, unless, you probably had in the back of your mind. But if the Saints would have been 2-0 at this point, it would have been a pleasant surprise. The Saints being 0-2 at this time is a shock to absolutely nobody. TJ, do you feel any songs brewing in your spirit? LOL. I can't say I feel any songs like brewing because, Charmaine, I just kind of expected this. Like, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm really not. I just expected it. And the things that I'm frustrated about don't even involve like the overall development of the team. It's the things that you can control. It's the things that you can control. I am not emotionally invested in this team like I did in years past. Do I want the New Orleans Saints to win? Abso-freaking-lutely. But to believe like I believe, like if it was 2017, 2018 and the Saints playing the 49ers, I'm emotionally invested in that because I felt like they had a chance of winning. Like, I don't go into Saints games believing that they're the best team because they're not. So if they end up beating a team they have no business beating, then I'm excited. But if they lose in ways that I know more than likely they're going to lose, like, I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing it on Bleacher Report, and I'm keeping it moving. I'm not going to let this consume my day or be all upset about something that I know is right in front of me. Just not a good football team right now. So I don't know. Like, making a song about it, I mean, I could. I'm sure, man. I mean, y'all know I could. But to say that I'm inspired by, like, what I'm seeing from the Saints, nah, because I just kind of seen this thing coming, man. Cardinals and 49ers are borderline playoff teams. We not that bad. Y'all trust me. Nah, the Saints aren't that bad. They just got to learn how to win. They got to learn how to execute. They got to learn how to not shoot themselves in the foot. And they got to learn that Cesar Ruiz ain't it. The Saints have some promise, man. Yeah, G. I think they do have some promise. That's why, you only can ask for them just getting better every week. That's the only thing that you can ask for, folks. Just that they get better every week. It improving. So I'm seeing them improve every single week. I have no problem with what I'm seeing. TJ keeps it real. That's why I'm here. Hello, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. We're going to keep it real here. I don't care what nobody else talking about. For those that think Chuck is going to do better, what different situation will he be in that Rattler isn't that's going to make him do better? We should want the best guy out there regardless, period. Yeah, I just don't get it, man. It's like, what are you evaluating this dude on today? Like, other than the fact that you just don't want him to be the starting quarterback of the Saints. Who hate watches their favorite team? Who sits up there and hate watches and prays on the demise of the quarterback that is starting on your team? Bro, that a couple years ago, we, for the most part, a nice sample size of Saints fans wanted to see Jameis Winston start. They wanted to see him play, right? But instead, they went with Andy Dalton. Now, not one time when the Saints had Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback, I was like, man, I hope Andy Dalton go out there and throw in 3 interceptions so Jameis Winston can play. Not one time. How do you hate watch your favorite team? How do you prey on the demise of a quarterback who has to play well, and that's in your best interest? You're willing to cut like your hand off despite your face because you want to be right about a narrative? Like, it's insane that we can't even get a dude. Man, you know what? I had my reservations about Rattler, but I thought he played pretty good today. What do? Man, well, if he would have caught through that pass to Chris Olave right here instead of right here, like, bro, give the brother some props, man. Like, I get it. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but the man definitely played good enough this afternoon to win a football game. I just don't get y'all, man. Y'all weird to me out here in these streets. Weird. Absolutely weird out here in these streets, man. It's funny the way that some of you all think. It is absolutely funny the way some of y'all think. Like, hate watching your own favorite team just to be right and want to feel right about a quarterback. Some of y'all probably was scouring that this man was 3 of 3 in a red zone. That is weird behavior. That is weird behavior. That is weird behavior. Moving on. In a way, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is better than Olave. Dumas, you screwed us again. Look, man, Mickey Loomis is by far one of the worst general managers in all of football. Would not be a general manager for the New Orleans Saints if the New Orleans Saints didn't hold him in such high regard and they didn't run their organization like a mom and pop shop. And the old owner who passed away, Tom Benson, may God rest his soul, didn't look at this guy as a son because Tom Benson didn't have any children or biological children of his own. But the thing about it is he is a terrible general manager. Awful. God awful. And the sad thing about it is dude ain't even going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere, man. He can keep on fumbling this thing up over and over again and nobody's going to say anything about it. Mickey Loomis would not be a general manager on 31 other NFL teams at this point. This man is just trying to make things better, but instead he's making things worse. People were telling me about, oh, man, well, the Saints signed Jalen Pope, and they only gave up a 7th-round pick, and, the dude on IR. I'm not even thinking, I'm sorry, I don't care what he can bring to the table. You are a wide receiver that is not going to give me anything this year on a team that you need all hands on deck. You looking for a guy that can come out there that can make a play, that can catch a contested catch, that can win a 50-50 matchup. And we up here going after broke down, out for the season wide receivers. And the hypocrisy of the Who Dat Nation. Yes, I am going to talk about you because y'all can sit up here and talk about, man, the Saints got fleeced by the Denver Broncos. Devon Vele out there catching touchdowns. What is Jalen Polk doing? Oh, that's a good move by Loomis right here, man. I mean, if it don't work out, I mean, bruh. These boys so confused out here. They don't know what's good and what's bad. And it's all because of Mickey Loomis. It's all because of Mickey Loomis. We don't know a good transaction from a bad transaction. We don't know what's beneficial to the team or not because this guy has fumbled this general manager role for I don't know how long. The emperor has on no clothes, ladies and gentlemen. And I've said this before. My belief in this New Orleans Saints team being able to turn it around, it falls squarely on the shoulders of Kellen Moore and his coaching staff. They have to win in spite of Mickey Loomis's bad decisions. Plain and simple. Because Mickey Loomis will never get it right. I honestly feel, unless the Saints about to have like Kellen Moore about to evolve into a really good coach, the Saints will never have a legitimate chance of doing anything in the South as long as Mickey Loomis by himself, without the aid of great quarterback play and great coaching, will never get the Saints where they need to be. And as soon as the New Orleans Saints figure that out, the better. But I don't expect for them to have the conversation because we all love Mickey Loomis. Come on, man. Let's get this family hug together, right? Let's get it together. Because that's what we on right now. Love is overshadowing business. I love this player. Let's give him a contract. I love this player. Let's extend him. Right? But is he a dog? Is he flying all over the field? Can your team look like slaw without him and be men with him? I don't see it, folks. I don't see it. And no, this isn't anything that you don't know already. I'm pretty sure in between this diatribe of this episode of the State of the Saints podcast, there were some positive things that I said about this team. But realistically, folks, I'm not here to tell you something that puts your mind at ease. We all understand what this team is right now. It's just best that you come to grips with it. Press the like and subscribe button, please. Stu, I appreciate that, man. Maybe Dimitrov will bring a new perspective when it comes to roster building. They need something because Mickey Loomis ain't it. And I'm really concerned. Like bringing in Thomas Dimitrov, is this one of them situations where Mickey Loomis thinking about stepping down and you bringing somebody like Dimitrov in to be the general manager just because you know him well? You know? Miss Benson like basketball more. I can't even say that because the Pelicans look even worse than what the Saints do right now. It's very weird, TJ. I just don't understand it. I don't understand these fans, man. I just don't. I don't understand y'all. I'm not talking, and when I say y'all, you know who I'm talking about. Get in where you fit in. I would never pray on the downfall of the New Orleans Saints. I don't care what they got out there. What do you think about Jalen Polk trade? I think I pretty much said that. Pretty much gave my opinion. What you think about them getting young wide receivers on rookie contracts is a sign that Olave and Shaheed may not be on the team. I think Shaheed gonna be here, but not Olave. I'm say that again. I think Shaheed can be on the team, but not Olave. I'm looking for the Saints to possibly trade Olave. Like if the season continues to go the way it is, they need to consider trading him this season. They need to go ahead and consider trading him this season. And I told y'all, like I played a clip earlier in the week about Chris Olave, man, and I was just saying, like, maybe I'm reading way too much into that press conference that happened on Wednesday, but it was like he was taking like shots, at the, oh man, I'm taking hits. Seemed like I'm always taking hits. It seemed like this is gonna be the trend this year. Like saying stuff like that. I'm telling you, dude is shell shot. He is shell shot. Then you ain't gotta like you can say, oh TJ, man, you overreacted. Go back and watch the all 22. Go back and watch the all 22. I mentioned this, and I'll play it for y'all. Okay, this was a question that was asked for Chris Olave about the hard hit that he took by Will Johnson, week 1 versus Arizona Cardinals, and him talking about what happened. But listen to what it's so smooth that it will slip by you if you don't pay attention to it. Check it out.
Yeah, every time they see me take a big hit or like something like that, I feel like they take me to the tent automatically. I feel like it's gonna be a lot or more than usual this year. But yeah, I try to tell them I'm good, but they just try to check on me, make sure I'm straight.
Did y'all hear what he said? Let me play it again. The last 5 seconds of that. Listen real close.
Yeah, every time they see me take a big hit or like something like that, I feel like they take me to the tent automatically. I feel like it's gonna be a lot or more than usual this year. But yeah, I try to tell them I'm good, but they just try to check on me.
A lot harder, or more usual than any other year. That's what he said. He said that it's gonna be a lot harder, more than usual this year. And look, and here's another one. Pay attention to it.
No, I'm good, man. It's just tough, with my history. I feel like I've taken a lot of hits here, but it is what it is.
He feel like he taking a lot of hits here. Listen to it.
No, I'm good, man. It's just tough, with my history. I feel like I've taken a lot of hits here, but
all I'm saying is this is a player. This is a player who is shell-shocked. This is a player that is thinking in the back of his mind, him going across the middle on some of them mesh routes, like, man, am my head gonna get taken off? I mean, I can't put it more plain, more simple than that. The man's confidence is shot, and he's shell-shocked right now. I mean, justifiably so, because it seemed like, he always taking a big hit a game. He always get a big hit. So maybe that is in the back of his mind. And he seems very, very frustrated at the fact that he's taking these hits. Yeah, he even alluded to it twice. Seems like I'm always taking big hits. Seems like that's going to be the case this season. Seems like I'm always taking hits. Like, he's telling you right in front of your face. But like I said, he said it so smooth, it was like it kind of rolled off because everybody laughing, kikiing it up in the locker room. But I was like, man, wait a minute. Like, he said that twice. This is a guy who is not very happy, and maybe like some of the route patterns that he has to run, feels like he's putting his body in harm's way. And maybe a change of scenery is necessarily needed because he's a talented wide receiver. And he can go to somebody's team and make immediate impact as long as he knows he can go to Pittsburgh right now. He go to Pittsburgh right now. You got DK Metcalf on one side. You got Chris Olave on the other. Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. He going to eat. And yes, he's probably going to make me look like I'm crazy for having this conversation. But the reality is what the New Orleans Saints need from a wide receiver at the number 1 spot, Chris Olave cannot fulfill that. So it's 2 things the New Orleans Saints can do here. They can pay him like he is a number 1 wide receiver, and you can draft yourself somebody in the draft that probably has a big possession guy. But to me, I feel like you're just going to be wasting bread. This is a Brandon Cooks type situation. Y'all remember Brandon Cooks? Brandon Cooks was a really good wide receiver for the Saints. Number 1. Then all of a sudden, Michael Thomas came along. Michael Thomas making the contested catches, winning the 50-50 ball. Wasn't the fastest guy in the world, but man, had vice grip hands. Guess what they did to Brandon Cooks? That made him expendable. And he got traded to the New England Patriots. Telling y'all, man. Dude is not what the New Orleans Saints need as far as the number 1 receiver right now because he can't give them that. And right now, the trust level when it comes to the offense and Chris Olave being out there, he doesn't fully trust his offense the way I feel like, he should. And it comes because of the issues and him going over the middle and taking these big shots. We have enough 2 and 3 receivers anyway. I've been saying some bodies could be traded, get some draft picks back. I'm looking at Cesar Ruiz. I'm looking at Chris Olave. Those are two guys that I'm just thinking about. Like if the season go haywire, but if you feel like you still got those guys out there and they making plays and you still in the division and everything right in front of you, then by all means, like, you keep them around. But the Saints would have to be insane to give this dude an extension. And like I said, he's not a bad wide receiver. I don't want to give anybody the indication that I'm saying that. What I'm saying is the New Orleans Saints need something more at the number one spot. Right now, like when you look at Spencer Rattler, he's not the most accurate quarterback in the world. But you need a wide receiver that's going to be able to make those contested catches. Like sometimes Rattler going to put the ball just out there. And it may be, I need each other to put it behind here to make it even more accurate, but instead he put it up here. You need a wide receiver that's just going to jump up and catch that ball and come down with it. That's what you need. You can, like, perfect marksmanship is not in New Orleans anymore. So you need Circus Soleil type wide receivers right now. You need big body guys, 40-inch vertical leap, can box out cornerbacks. That is what you need right now. At least one guy that can make an impact. Right now, you have nothing of the such on this football team. Take a few more, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. TJ, I'm seeing potential. I'm just going to take time as a Saints fan. I just have to be patient. Got to be patient with what you're seeing right now. You got to be patient with what you're seeing right now. It's just that plain and simple. You have got to be patient with what you're seeing right now. You can't look through. You can't be looking at 2025 Saints through 2018 glasses. You just can't. You're just going to frustrate yourself every single time. Speaking of big hits, shout out to Bud Crawford. Yeah, man, shouts out to Terrence Bud Crawford, which I predicted that Terrence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez in decisive fashion. And, I stand on business with that too. And that was a really good fight. That was a really good fight, man. I mean, look, first off, they got to do something about these fights. I mean, I think by the time these guys got to the ring introductions and ready to fight, it was about 12:50 in the morning. Like, come on, man. Like, it's past midnight. Man, ain't nobody trying to stay up like this. I got church in the morning. Now I got to get up early and be doing, like, little podcast stuff. That's one of the reasons why I couldn't pre-record the podcast for the prediction show this morning. Like, I was like trying to watch the fight. By the time the fight went off and the press conferences and the blah, blah, blah. And it was about 2 a.m. I'm like, man, shoot, I ain't about to sit up here and be doing no recording. I'm probably going to be stumbling all over my words, not really being as energetic. But it was a good fight, right? It was a good fight. That was just the old man in me. We don't stay up that long no more. One thing about Rattler, he fights, and I like that. Looking forward to the Falcons' loss tonight, says Piano Dean. Thank you very much for the $10. Well, we're going to see, man. We're going to see if them Falcons can knock off them Minnesota Vikings. Should be a fun game to watch. I liked Olave when we drafted him, but he has not panned out in that way. TJ, you said the Saints can pay him like a number one or trade him, and based on the track record, that first one is more likely scenario. Yeah, they need to go ahead and trade him, man. They need to go ahead and trade him. This man, like, I think he wants a change of scenery. I think that, he's just out there. He's trying to play. He wants to fight for the team because that's just the way that he is. But I just think that these offensive plays and these concepts are not ideal for him. I think that he wants to be a receiver that stretches the field. I think he wants to get behind the defense. I think he wants to be that type of guy, not being that number one where you're running like all these different routes, run these routes that DK Metcalf and AJ Brown be running. I don't think he wants that. I think he wants to be able to go out there, stretch the field, and be that deep threat for a team. And the Saints don't let him because they got Rashid Shaheed. He does a better job at some of those deep passes than Olave does. So they probably looking at, well, we need you to do all these other things because you're our number one guy. And, you have Shaheed that could be, I won't call him a one-trick pony, but you're relying on him for one particular thing more so than not. Respect at heart. Crazy thing is the quarterback play is what's the best right now. That was the best thing about the day. That was the best thing about the day, man. I hope our team going to win the win next week on the road. Game TJ. If Hope Saints fans going to be all right, I'm pray for our team going to win for real. That's going to be a tough game, man. I mean, if you can't operate offensively in a quiet Caesar Superdome, how in God's name are you going to be able to work in a stadium that was designed to keep the crowd noise in and was basically put together by NASA, for God's sake? So good luck with that. Should have traded him to the Steelers. They wanted him before the season. Well, they might end up getting him. TJ, Chase Young is 26 years old. Why is he always hurt? We need pressure and sacks on the opponent's quarterback. Well, I mean, it was unfortunate. I mean, he was going to the season probably in the best shape he was ever in, probably as healthy as he ever been, because even last season he was dealing with a neck injury. He had to get surgery before the season. One of the main reasons why the Saints were able to get their hands on him. But it's just unfortunate you dealing with that calf injury, and maybe it's a little bit more serious than they thought. But I'd rather have Chase Young at 100%. We know the type of season that the Saints are facing, so I think the Saints understood that too, especially the way that they set this team up this season. Gumsmack and Mickey will not make that Olave Johnson Groupie trade. Well, look, I don't think all these guys need to be traded. Like, I just think that Blake Groupie need to get his ish together. I just think that Juwan Johnson is what he is at this point. You're not going to solve that. Like, you need to draft or sign another tight end to this football team. I hope that, when Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau come back, you can have some good complementary guys. But right now, no. TJ, I'm glad we got Vele involved. Nice to see him in the red zone. Keep Olave just on a number 2 type contract. I mean, let's be real about this, though, Keenan. If you had a choice right now, I need to pay one of these guys, Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed. Which one you paying? Which one of them dudes you paying? I'm paying Rashid Shaheed over Chris Olave right now, because I feel like Rashid Shaheed gives you more production offensively and is coming through in a clutch more so than a Chris Olave. I'm serious. Like, I would keep Rashid Shaheed and I would allow Chris Olave to test free agency or trade him. Because you can put, you can put a Michael Thomas big body receiver and be that and he can be your number 1 guy on one side. And then you can have Rashid Shaheed eating up the flat deep, taking those deep shots down the field. Like, I would, man, no hesitation. I'm paying Rashid Shaheed over Chris Olave, and I'm not thinking twice about it. These fans that complain are the same fans that put hot dogs in their gumbo. Get the ish out of here. Get the ish out of here. Let's see. I'm paying Shaheed all day over Olave. Olave is so overrated. Man, look, I think that Chris Olave is talented. I just think that the way that the Saints offense is set up is just not suitable for him. And I just think that he has those thoughts in the back of his mind, like somebody about to take his head off. And it's affecting his play. All right, and let's see. Would Marcus Williams help? I mean, I would sign Marcus Williams. I talked about that. I think they still need a veteran safety on this team. Because, I mean, and you saw that today. I mean, Justin Reed ended up going down in the game. Luckily, he was able to come back in the game. But I'm just wondering, okay, if he goes down, then what? Right? I mean, you're going to have Jordan Howden, who leaves a lot to be desired. And you got Uranus Sinker out there who's a rookie. So you're going to already have some difficult days ahead at the safety position. So I just think that was a little bit of a foreshadow, and the Saints should, kind of respond to that. Like, it didn't end in a tragic way or frustrating way where you're missing Justin Reed for a for the foreseeable future. But it also could be a reminder that if this guy was to go down, what the hell are we going to do? We need to fix this thing. Bengals fans are tripping, talking about trading him, Joe. Trading Joe Burrow, man, please let him, like, man, if they talk about trading Joe Burrow, look here. It ain't happening. But if they talking about trading Joe Burrow, they got to be out their freaking mind. Like, bruh, take that in a heartbeat. They can get whatever they want for that. And says, yes, I agree with that. Get a true number one to draw 2 or more players that would open the field up for other players. Yep. And then we got our thought. Spencer Rattler had a career day, close but no cigars. Yeah, I mean, he definitely had his best day as a pro. No doubt about that. But let's go ahead and read the stat line of the New Orleans Saints to close out the show. Thank you all for being here. I ask that you hit the like button. Hopefully we won you over. If you just tuned in, you can hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the State of the Saints podcast, growing channel and family here. We keep it real over here, man. We love the Saints, but we keep it real. Like, we don't hold no punches back, right? We congratulate when necessary, but we got to talk about some of the issues that's getting this team beat also. Spencer Rattler, 25 of 34, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 21 carries for 99 yards. Spencer Rattler, 4 carries for 14. And you have Kendre Miller, 5 carries for 8 yards. I think the Saints need to utilize Kendre Miller a little bit more. I understand, Alvin was running the ball well. But, I think that you may need to start running Kendre Miller up the middle a little bit. I was disappointed the Saints didn't really utilize him. They were mostly utilizing him on like stretch plays and stuff. And he's getting better when it comes to picking up the blitz. There was a really good blitz pickup that he had on I want to say a corner was coming on a blitz, and I mean, he picked it up really well. But Chris Olave, 6 catches for 54 yards, was targeted 10 times. Rashid Shaheed, 4 catches for 52 yards, targeted 5. Juwan Johnson, 5 catches, was targeted 9. 2 of them he dropped. Brandon Cooks, 2 catches. He was targeted twice for 26 yards. Alvin Kamara, 6 catches for 21 yards. Devon Vele had 1 catch for 3 yards that ended in a 3-yard touchdown. Defensively, Demario Davis leads the team in tackles with 11. Ernest Sinker with 8. Isaac Yiadom with 7. Carl Granderson with 7 tackles and 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. Very active day for Carl Granderson, and that's what you want, right? This is a guy that is the successor to Cam Jordan. So him showing up in these games like this is very, very positive. Alante Taylor, to me, even though, the stat line don't seem like it resembles it, I think he had a really rough day. He had 6 tackles. He had 1 tackle for loss and 2 pass deflections. But sometimes in coverage, man, he was left out there and he wasn't making plays, including the touchdown to Christian McCaffrey. He was caught flat-footed, right? You got to make sure that the defense don't catch you flat-footed. You won't be able to recover. That ball is already going to be out, and it's going to be a touchdown on your head. Justin Reed, 5 tackles. Pete Warner with 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Vernon Broughton had 3 tackles in a game. Chris Rumph, 2 tackles, also had that forced fumble, and it counted as a sack on Mac Jones. Nate Shepard with 2. Cam Jordan with 1. Devon Godshaw with 1. Quincy Riley with 1. Kool-Aid with 1. Danny Stutzman with 1. And Brian Brzee had a pass deflection, man. That was pretty clutch late in the game. And that is your New Orleans Saints stat line right here on the State of the Saints podcast. My final thoughts are simple, ladies and gentlemen, for all 639 watching this right now. The New Orleans Saints are who they are in 2025. You just got to take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. And there are going to be some bad times. There are going to be some head scratches. There's going to be some frustration, especially when you feel like the Saints had a chance of winning a football game. But when this team, tries to find themselves, it's best for us to look at the positive things that are happening right in front of our eyes. But I just think that when you're losing and you're not winning games, and it just seems like there's no winning in sight, and you want your team to be talked about like you talk about some of these other teams in the National Football League, and they don't get talked about because they're struggling, it can become a tad bit frustrating. But the reality is this: if the New Orleans Saints can get a little bit better every single week, if these young players can grow up right in front of our eyes, if Spencer Rattler can continue to play the quarterback position better and better by the week, and if the wide receivers and the pass catchers and the running back can complement him, then I think the New Orleans Saints can get themselves out of this rut and they can live up to their full potential. It is a marathon, ladies and gentlemen. It is not a sprint. And I just think that the sooner you recognize that as a Saints fan, the better. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, my name is TJ Jones, and you can follow me on X at TJAYJones8. Also, you can subscribe to the channel right here on YouTube, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Check out the post-game show every single game immediately following any Saints matchup on Bleacher Report. I do the daily New Orleans Saints talks on Bleacher as well. So make sure that you check it out. Go to Bleacher Report. You can search New Orleans Saints. You'll see some of the content there. Also, NFC South Roundtable every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. You'll be able to check out myself, Clay, James, and Berto talking NFC South football. Have a really good time over there. And finally, last but not least, the State of the NFL podcast. All right. We talk about some of the hottest topics in all of football. We do live streams, watch alongs of high profile games, primetime games. Make sure that y'all subscribe to that channel, youtube.com, search the State of the NFL. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?